it worked that time. All right. I've got my setup. I had to end the stream and start the stream again because it had the wrong camera. So bear with me. I'm going to go live on Facebook here as well. If that even works at the same time, we're going to try. Go live. Go live. Am I live? I'm live on YouTube. Am I live on Facebook? Come on, Facebook. Come on, Facebook. It's stuck in loading. There we go. There we go. I'm live. Cool. Live there. Live on YouTube. Live everywhere. There we are. I got it working. Can y'all hear me pretty good? Loud and clear? Is this mic on? How do I see the chats? Oh, it's been so long since I've done this, hasn't it? I think my last live stream was November, December of 2018. So here we are. It is, let's see, June 13th, 2020. And I have taken a break from the world of comics. And not too long ago, got back into it with social media and sort of tested the waters there, found out that everything was okay. Not only was there a crowd for conservative comic books, but that crowd has grown, it seems, since I've been gone. So that's been really cool. As anybody who doesn't know, I have a history of working in comic books, but also a history of not quite getting along with everybody in the comics industry. And I mean, I'm not going to say it was all my fault because I'm not that terrible of a person, but it's been the whole country. It's been the whole country, now the whole world. If I had to put a title on the past 4 years, I'd say it's been nothing short of a digital civil war. I mean, am I right? Can anybody agree that this has been no different than people fighting each other back in the American Revolution, just if you stuck Facebook and Twitter in the mix? I mean, people don't get along. Families don't get along anymore. If you're a family member and you choose to be on the left side and your daughter's on the right side, or whatever example you want, I mean, I'm seeing families part ways. It's friends, teachers, old mentors of mine that swing left and that I swing right. Talk anymore. It's not been just a personal vendetta I've had with the comics industry. It's just been that it's fair, I think, to say we've been involved in a digital type of civil war with each other. You know, I saw a comedian say not that long ago, it was funny. Every year we've got this two-party system, right, of the Democrats and the Republicans. And it's like 50% Democrat, 50% Republican, just about. So no matter what the election is, every single election, half of the country is going to be unhappy. All right. So what's been interesting, though, is that I got into comics before Trump was elected. I started in about 2014, and I got my first gig right, I think, at the beginning of 2015. I entered right at the fall, and then by spring, I had some work. It was awesome, and I saw how people were making a living doing comic art, and I just fell into it with my whole heart. I thought, this is it. You know, I hadn't been drawing for several years, so I was rusty getting back into it. I was an artist when I was a kid, but I gave it up for a while, and I was so willing to be an artist again, just for fun, just to try for once to do something for fun, you know, out of passion, instead of having to just pay the bills all the time. I thought, this is so cool. So I really liked the art. And I eventually got hired. I got published, and I think my first published piece was, well, it might have been in 2015. I started doing colorist work for other artists first, and then their pieces would be, published. And then I got my own published pencils and colors, and I think it was 2015. Might have been 2016. I don't remember. But anyways, I did work with a couple publishers, But very quickly, it kind of turned ugly. And I hate to come out of the closet here, but I am a conservative. I'm a libertarian conservative. So that didn't really work very well. Oh, hello, Weird Hero. Hi. It's so cool to see you guys again. I know I've been totally absent. I've been focusing on work and everything but comics. Karma aside, I'm always working on Karma, but that's a different deal. It's my magnum opus. I'm always working on Karma. But I stepped out again. It's really cool to be back, guys. So anyways, let me continue my spiel, because I got asked recently, and I get asked every so often, hey, you worked in comics, you have published credits with Cinescope and IDW and Ultra Pro and Rothic and Counterpoint, and I'm a conservative. I want to break into the industry, and how is that going to work for me? Do you have any advice? No BS advice. And I'm a good person to ask, at the very least, I'm a good person to ask because I went through it. It's terrible. It's absolutely horrendous. Unequivocally, just one of the worst experiences that I've ever had in my life, which is such a bummer because like I said, I was so into the art. But the election came around. And by this time, this is the 2016 election. I had already networked a bunch. I'd been going to conventions, talked to comic shop owners and people, and we're selling art pieces and, like I said, working. And it got just so weird. It's kind of like, if you are a conservative, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're in the room of a bunch of people who aren't conservatives, you can tell there's a little bit of friction. Like, you wouldn't maybe necessarily want to go marry that person or live with that person or just be stuck in a car with that person. Unfortunately, that's just the times we live in now. I came into comics at the wrong time. And like I said, it's like a digital civil war. People don't get along. They just don't. And I've read studies that conservatives and liberals are actually possibly wired differently in our brains, that we think differently. We're two different types of people. And I think that's true. Personally, I came from a Democratic family and background, very, very leftist Canadian. Hi. And everybody in Canada pretty much is left, and their normal left is like our extreme left. So anyways, it got really awkward. The things I posted on Facebook, I'd like retweet or I'd share my opinion on a conservative thing. It was the election time, and people took that the wrong way. The thing with the side of the radical left that we see a lot is that they just unconditionally seem to hate the right. Fuming flames of wrath and fire, fury thrown at the right. Because they say things like we're racist and bigots and whatever. I've heard the cult of Trump so many times, even though I'm so on Trump. He's not my favorite, but if it came down to an election, I'd vote for him because he's a Republican. But libertarian conservative right here. Libertarian conservative, okay? But there's just a hatred for the right. We all know this by now. When I was getting into comics, nobody quite understood that yet. It wasn't out in the open. So that was the hardest part. It's almost a relief now because it has splintered. The entire comics industry has splintered into the right and the left. So it's a lot easier to at least know who your friends are. So my advice to people who are trying to break into the industry as conservatives. Sorry, I got kids in the background. Every time I try to do something, that's the life of a mom. Okay, anyways, so my advice to people getting into the industry now is that at least you didn't have to go through what I did, where I went through that splintering. I worked for publishers. I had networking friends. I had comic shop people, retailers that I worked with. Now, since it's all out in the open, they know I'm on the side of the right and they're not, we have no working relationship anymore. It is completely fallen apart. And in most of those cases, I'd say there was a lot of slander and back talking and gossip and hatred slung my way. I tried to never repeat that favor to them, even when I came out as supportive of Comicsgate 2 years ago, which I then redacted after seeing a lot of bullying and harassment on that side that I didn't agree with. I thought Comicsgate was a conservative movement, but it's not really. Yeah, even when I came out then, I didn't give people's names like directly because I didn't want to sling hatred at those people. They're entitled to their views. They're entitled to their free speech. That's what I believe. And if they don't believe the same for me, that's fine. But it became a lot of publishers telling me, hey, if you talk like that or post this on Twitter, you will actually get blacklisted from the industry. And what they were referring to are my conservative values. It had nothing to do with my published work or artwork. And yeah, that's how it goes. Sounds like my toddler is throwing a fit in the other room, so I apologize. Let's take a break for a second. Now I've been monologuing and say hi to you guys. It's cool to see you. What a cool microphone, Weird Hero. Can you hear me okay? Because I changed the setup of all this and I want to make sure it's actually working. Let's check in with Facebook. How's it going? Hey, where have you been, Lissandro? I've been hiding. I haven't wanted to deal with the comic industry much. Like I just went off on a rant kind of explaining what happened. I got slandered and all that crap, and it's already all over like Bleeding Cool. You can even pull it up, and I have in the past. Like it was so weird to me around 2016 that people were saying, I won't work with you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. And it was so politically charged. I was confused, though, at the time because I didn't realize it was so politically charged. I thought it was more like an attack on me personally, and I took it kind of hard. And so did my husband. We were trying really hard to make a living, and everybody we had supported, like we and books and tried to like be a part of community. And then it just got faces that we were not at all welcome. So then I took a break, and then I came back in 2018 in the fall, thinking that, because I had heard about Comicsgate, that Comicsgate was a conservative movement, which it turned out to kind of not be. It kind of turned into like people who troll everybody else. And honestly, the people that were doing all the trolling weren't even conservatives. So that was just like a fluke. I was really excited that there might be a spot in conservative comics because I thought, oh, great, I can be welcome. But I was wrong. So I kind of got trolled again. And I left again because at that point, it's like, gosh darn it, that's two times. And I said, screw it. And I left again because I just want to make the art, like I don't care about the politics. I just want to make pretty art. So it was frustrating. But this isn't just me. This is the whole country right now going through this. At least now it's said and done. It's fractured. People know what's going on. You said you only remember the whole convention thing that you told me about. Oh, yes. I remember talking to you about that. Yes. And a similar thing happened too. I had talked, was it you, Lysandra, that I talked to you about? We had talked about people who use the tactic to actually intentionally blacklist people from getting other talent at their shows. As I had a conversation about that, and this is apparently because that's what happened to me. As soon as like people started talking bad about me, and I was trying to throw a show, and I had a retail shop, like it spread like wildfire to these groups that like it actually spread in 2016 and 17 to Black Lives Matter and a bunch of transgender activist groups that had like nothing to do at all with comics, and they trolled us. Oh my God. They were calling our cell phones. They were leaving voicemails telling us we should die. They were leaving totally false reviews on our business pages that said that we were racist, which is complete BS. We had that comic that's called Black, that only Black people have superheroes. Like, we pushed that in our store, and they trolled us because we had Trump memorabilia, like pops, in our store. But we also had Hillary ones, but that didn't matter. That didn't matter, you know? And they were saying just all kinds of just bull crap. And then when that happened, all of our friends went, I can't talk to you anymore. I can't talk to you anymore. And it was such a huge blow. Yeah, that's exactly what you said. And that's apparently a tactic, is that people who are involved in talent intentionally talk bad about you so that you can't get the talent, so that your whole business collapses. Yeah. Well, I had come back with Comicsgate, and then it kind of happened again. Like, just I got back talked again. You know, they were trolling, and this is a thing with Comicsgate. That's the problem, is that, like, there's a core of Comicsgate, and I think there's a lot of people who think that it's a conservative movement or something like that, that are on the fringes, that don't necessarily realize that at the core, I think it was kind of just a grab for money. The politics was only there just to grab money for these books that these people were making. Kind of like how Black Lives Matter maybe has the core of Antifa taking over 6 blocks in Seattle, but maybe there's like Black Lives Matter people that are really good, that have something good to say on the fringes, that support it and don't really realize what could be happening in the middle. But since then, you know, about a year and a half or so has passed, and I left. And then Comicsgate is now trademarked by Preston Poulter, and he does his own line of books now that's separate from that movement. So that's kind of cool to see. But, you know, I've been getting back into it. And now, after the first round of trolling, I was like, okay, obviously they don't like me. I'm not welcome in the comic industry. That's just a fact. You know, I'm done. My career is done. The second time with Comicsgate, I realized, well, at least I know, and I kind of have an idea of like why people hated me. And this, like, here's a good example. I was going around showing my portfolio, and I had done this piece during the 2016 election. This was a complete coincidence, by the way, that it is Trump and Hillary. I was going to do one of all the candidates, and it just so happened that they were the last two. And I was going to do a reverse one where Hillary was like attacking Trump because The Walking Dead was really popular. That's what I was going for. But people didn't take it that way. People got really offended, and I didn't even realize it because they wouldn't tell me. They just talked behind my back instead. And then, you know, before you know it, I'm blacklisted. Several people, peers, artists, publishers, either said, you are blacklisted. That's the kind of talk that will get you blacklisted. That particular reference is in my support for Trump at the time. And then thirdly, I will blacklist you. And I have all these in email and text formats, you know, to ever prove my story, but I don't want to go and attack these people. So that's what it's like. That's what it was like in 2016-17. You remember this video, Tim, people don't want context. They just want to feel better than you. Remember the video I meant when you mentioned stuff before CG? Well, let's go back to ignore CG, do what you love. That's what we do at I Love Comics, RDV. I'm working 2 platforms here, YouTube and Facebook. And you guys are absolutely right. Like, I don't even want to talk about drama anymore. When I came to Comicsgate, I was really fiery because I was mad. I was so mad. I got my passion ripped from me. These people didn't even want to work with me. Like, have you ever given someone like $2,000 worth of books and commissions, and then for no reason at all had them tell you, I can't have anything to do with you because you're on the wrong side? Just friend after friend after friend after friend, and then just the chorus line, just nope. Wouldn't work with me. And that's just purely because this politics. So I was mad. Got to Comicsgate, I was mad. And then I saw that wasn't really good either. Now I took some time to refresh, and I've realized that I don't care. I really don't care what any of these people say anymore. I'm ready to get back to doing what I love. I've got so many projects on the way that I just every single day I'm working on something. You might not see it yet because it's not released yet, but just you guys wait. I've got book after book after book after book. I've got project, animation, film, documentary. I've got so much. And that's who I am. I'm a creative person. I can't stop it. If I could stop it, I wouldn't be here, but I can't. And I grew a thicker skin. I realized that these guys, the very, very leftist crowd that hate me, they're actually in their own kind of clique. This is a positive thing. This was an observation I've had over the past few months as I got back on social media. They're in their own little bubble. And Comicsgate is also in their own little bubble. I don't have to be in either bubble. I can make my own bubble. And it doesn't matter what they say. Really, this is what Comicsgate was supposed to be anyways. It's just that you make good books and all that other stuff doesn't matter. And that's what I'm here to do. And this particular crowd, I had an experience recently where the past, the 72 hours, this is what happened. I joined this group that I used to be a member of back in 2016 and 17, and it was a comics collecting and signature witnessing group. And I met the guy who'd run it. There was no problems. Since I've been gone, that group has grown quite a bit. And I joined it again, and I posted about my Vampirella exclusive coming up, and it got deleted and I got banned. It's okay. It was just the only person supposed to post was the admin. I didn't realize that. And then I was told I got banned on accident. So I was let back in. But then the next day I woke up and I was banned again, and I'm not allowed in the group. I was like, this is what happens when you're a conservative in the comic industry. Now, my error there is that I should just not even worry about associating with those people, that moderate and run the group. Now, some of them I know and I'm on good terms with, so I thought that we'd be fine. But there are other moderators or admins of that group that I know hate me. And two in particular, this is the silly, silly stuff that I dealt with all in 2016, which was so confusing. It was just like a mind warp. I don't want to curse online, but you know what word I'm looking for. It didn't make any sense why they hated me so much. One of the moderators there in about that same time, 2016, 17, a creator, I had been talking to him for forever. Everything was fine. I don't know what I did to make him so mad at me or hate me, but then just out of the blue the next day he would walk right by me, talk to the person next to me, but completely ignore me, and I did not exist. And if I ever did get a fraction of an eye contact, it was like a stare, evil glare. And this happened to me a lot in that time. People that I had were show up and give me free things, thank you for your support with your shop, thank you so much, and give me free gifts, would then a couple months later, walk down the aisle and be like, and not talk to me. I was dead to them. I didn't know why. It was so confusing. And this is what happens with politics, which is happening in our country. They talk about you, but you know it. So you just find out later when you're banned from a group and you didn't do anything. And this is just how it is now. So the other moderator or admin or whatever of that group, there's a few that I know don't like me, was one of those people that said, oh, well, you're on the wrong side. I can't have anything to do with you. So I already knew there was some bad blood going into that group, but then I thought there was good blood because I had also worked positively with these other people. So I thought it balanced out, but it just doesn't. So I'm not allowed in that circle. I'm just not. So, but what's cool about this, though, the positive of this is that, again, there's those little bubbles, and that I already knew that was a bubble, that there's this crowd, especially, in particular, they call themselves the Cool Kids Club, or Cool Kids, Club, I think it is, the Cool Kids. And I didn't make that up. That's what they call themselves. And they do a lot of the cheesecake work, the sexy girl covers and stuff in the industry. Just so you guys know, none of them like me. 100% politically motivated. They're the same people that told me that I was blacklisted, that they would blacklist me, and I just don't get along with them. So a big realization I had over the past 72 hours while this all happened, and I was sitting there why did they ban me. I didn't even post anything. Is that I have decided to do my own cheesecake books. Cheesecake is the term for sexy women covers, pretty women covers. You know, I run Conservatives in the Arts, which is now a for-profit benefit company. Look at the t-shirt. Look at the t-shirt. That's Conservatives in the Arts, which I plan to do really cool stuff with, but it is more conservative. The cheesecake women are not as, not as conservative. Look at that shiny metal print, by the way. Oh, it's so pretty. But I came up with the concept, which I do. I come up with like 5 ideas a day, and it hurts. But that's why I have all these notes, like pages and pages of notes in my Google Drive. Just you guys wait till you see when they all come to fruition. And I have Mindy Wheeler Studios, which is my business name. I will be putting out books, but also I decided, hey, you know what? I'm not allowed in the Cool Kids Club. You know what? Whatever. I'm going to make my own cheesecake books and covers. So I got a script going. This is besides Karma, right? Karma is like the magnum opus. You guys got to wait on that one a little bit. Let it get real good. But I have a script going. I've got a couple covers in mind, and I've got these really cool characters for a badass cheesecake book series. So I can still have that because I used to work in that and I really liked it. There were a lot of cool people. It was a fun thing to do, but I'm not allowed in that crowd apparently. So this is what we're going to do. And I can't wait to show you guys. Let me read some comments. Tim. Cool. We're still live on Facebook. Awesome. You guys are really cool. I'm glad that you're here. Okay. There's a lot of comments here. RDV. I back books I want to read, not what the group thinks wants you to do. Yeah. And that's just how the comic industry works. Like we're seeing that with Hollywood too. It's a great example. There's a lot of, despotism or nepotism where people give gigs to their friends and based on favoritism. And I saw this all the time working in comics. You know, there'd be someone that that couldn't even draw backgrounds that were getting gigs that I was also lined up for ahead of me, even though I drew the backgrounds. Like not drawing the backgrounds is step number 1 of what not to do when drawing sequentials. But you know, Hollywood, the music industry, the comic industry, anything media and entertainment is really set up this way. It's not the comics problem. So although it's cool to be here and see all the things that comics, you know, the conservative comic bubble that's growing has to say, it's also a larger problem. And so that's why I started Conservatives in the Arts, so I can do more, because I actually have experience doing animation and film and all kinds of stuff you guys don't even know about. You know, guys don't even know like the slightest thing of my skill set. You know, I can draw, but like that's it. You don't know what all I can do, and I can't wait to show you. Comicsgate is a drama factory. They mostly make drama with the occasional comic. Yeah, and their comics are late. Their comics are terribly late, which is completely hypocritical because they were supposed to be all about good service, right? And then they were just not. Not at all. I buy Marvel, DC Boom Studios, and Zenescope. There you go. Yeah, and Zenescope was a real fun favorite for me to work for. This is a Zenescope piece right here. Thank you, Weird Hero. You do beautiful work. Yeah, don't give bullies attention. Exactly. If you ever want to join us on I Love Comics, hit us up. Definitely. I want to get back into the YouTube thing. It's just, I've been in a weird limbo. I think I'm about to move. And so my setup space is a little weird. But I want to do the YouTube thing. I want to get back into what I was doing with you guys. It was cool to have that interaction. Yeah, don't talk about CG, just comics. That's right. That's right. Most of the entertainment industry is liberal and uncivil to non-liberals. The comics industry is a spin-off of that. Exactly. I'm not anti-CG, pro-CG, or whatever new term there is. Right. I support people that are nice and enjoy their art. I can't agree with you more. And screw those other people. Like, I've been so caught up in my head. At first, before Comicsgate, I was just, why do they hate me? This sucks. You know, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that some dude in his pajamas in his mom's basement can write some slanderous article and it gets more attention than than the blood, sweat, and tears I put into my shop and my work. And that just, the people's priorities were so off, and it hurt. It really hurt. Then the second time around, I thought, wow, online social media is evil. And I got really bitter to social media because I said, okay, these people are using it for evil. You know, they're trolling people, they're harassing people, they're doxing people or whatever. And they're not even worried about the comic books. They're late. They suck. You know, they're not that great. And they're making how much money? They're making how much money doing this? This is a scam. You know, it's a total scam. I backed too many books because of cool people wrote it. Very few of them are worth money. Thank you. And that's even true with mainstream comics today. And oh my gosh, if you guys pay attention, start to pay attention, like I'm starting to pay attention, there's quite a bit of charity that happens in the comics industry that goes straight towards leftist charities. Jim Lee and Gail Simone recently on Twitter just did a big auction, and there was like a $23,888 or something donation on one of Jim Lee's pieces for the auction, and he matched it. So that's a total of 47,000 whatever change dollars that went to all Black supported charities. Now listen, I don't care if someone's white or Black or whatever color they are. That's not the point. You guys already know that by now because it's not 2016. We don't even, like, when somebody says the term racist, it just like flies in the wind now because we know it's ridiculous. It's not about that. It's about the crazy radical left-wingers that are causing problems and burning down cities and saying things like Black Lives Matter when they're only, you know, someone got killed maybe only by a cop, but then there's Black Lives Matter. They don't care about the Black cops getting shot by the Black Lives Matter protests. You know, you're with me here. It doesn't have anything to do with comics at this point, and we all know that this country is just going through a time, and it probably will continue, and it probably will get worse. So politics don't have to destroy escapism. They can just be gone from the books, and people can create good books and not have to troll each other to make the money to do it. So I hope you're all with me. Like, this could be a really cool thing. Putting out cheesecake covers and books, I'm so excited about. And then Karma's coming soon in just a few months. And I have other books that, you know, I'd actually am looking for in the near future a writer to help me produce it, and an interior artist, maybe even a cover artist. So this can be a community. Screw that. Screw the whole Comicsgate's not a community, but is a community hypocritical stuff. There's actually on Twitter a hashtag writing community where I've seen a bunch of people be very positive and have a community. It's possible. What you don't want is to associate yourself with a clique. So being a conservative in the comics industry, best advice I can give you is that it's going to be really tough. It's going to be hard. But thankfully, there's a saving grace, and that is there's a lot of conservatives who actually dig comics. And they're starting a trend. They're starting to put out books, good books. They're starting to make a lot of money from it, and they support each other. And you don't have to swear your allegiance to Comicsgate. In fact, I'd rather you don't, because there's a lot of trolling in that group. Just be yourself, be your individual self. And the secret to being a successful comic artist or writer is to create your own niche based on your work, based on your own merit. And that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. So that's my realization. You know, it sucks being trolled. It sucks being sent threats. It sucks being people were saying I was a drama queen, that I was trying to get people's money. I mean, they just make shit up off the top of their heads just to discredit me. And that was hard. You know, it's kind of like being bullied in high school, but like magnified times 100 because it's in the public view. And, you know, these people are so full of crap that like, they're probably not even capable of like naming all the US presidents or knowing anything about history, and they're just ridiculous. So it just doesn't matter, you know. And I've watched a lot of history in the past year too, catching up on it. People trolled George Washington too, even when he was before, during, and after the presidency. Even the people around him trolled him too. And I kind of realized I guess it's just kind of a thing. This whole right and left thing too, it's really heated, but screw it all. Just screw it all. So if you have a comic book you want to put out as an artist or writer and you are conservative, step number 1, try not to get involved in the wrong crowd, because if it's anything like my experience, you will be slandered and trolled. Step number 2, maybe my best personal advice based on experience is stay away from maybe Comicsgate 2, because that also has trolls. 3, make your own work, put it out based on your own stuff. And then 4, you gotta have a backbone, because you got to be prepared. It's going to come at you, and it's going to come at you hard. I'm even kind of, not afraid, but I'm always walking on eggshells. Like, I'm working with Dynamite right now on this Vampirella exclusive. And, part of me always says, like, oops, I hope they're okay with me posting this. Even saying that I am conservative, it's that difficult. You have to walk on eggshells everywhere you go all the time, working within the comics industry. So the trick is you work outside of the comic industry and you do your own thing. All right, comments. I see new people coming in. Earthworm Jim is the first comic book I ever bought. Hey, that's cool. It is cool. I talked to Doug Tenapple recently, and he's just had a bunch of success. And you know why? Is because he sticks to his book. So he's already way ahead of everybody else. But there's quite a few people now that are actually putting out books and doing really well. Let's see. I support people that I enjoy their art. I suspect some of the people in the entertainment industry just pretend to be liberal to stay in the club. Oh my God, how right you are. I even somewhat saw that myself. There was someone in particular that we were friends with that tried to support us back in 2016 when we were getting trolled, and when all these stupid blog articles were coming up of people slandering us and whatever. That he totally just he held on with strings trying to support us, but he was telling us he was getting threats from other people that they had to choose between our friendship and support or his. And I knew that he understood a bit of our, maybe even views, but we got along, liberal or conservative or not, but it didn't matter. He, to be a part of the industry and keep his job, he had to disown us. Isn't that ridiculous? That's how bad it hurt. Hello, has it always been difficult to keep art and politics separate, if that's a goal, or has it been amplified in the recent years? It's been amplified, and I never meant to come out with my politics at all. I didn't even realize that it was happening. Like I said, I put this piece out in my portfolio just as a gag piece. Ha ha ha. I didn't realize people were going to take it so deeply. And before that, I didn't even really know what a libertarian was, for example, back in 2015-16. I wasn't that involved in politics, but I got kind of shoved in by other people in the industry, not me. All I was doing was from time to time, maybe retweeting a meme or saying hey, and posting my personal thoughts on things and maybe having a debate here and there. What I didn't realize was that people were watching and they were keeping tabs, and then it spread like gossip that I was evil. So it just kind of I came out of the conservative closet without even having to try. People already knew, and I never even wanted to talk politics. I was never there for the politics. I was there for the comics and the art. So while I would have rather not have ever talked about politics, they threw that on me, and there was no escaping it at that point. People were saying, I'd see threads on Facebook don't work with these people, they are terrible, racist, bigots, whatever, Nazis. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm just they did it to me. I didn't do it to myself. At least I didn't think so. But for them, personal is the same as business. That's what blew my mind. And I'd even have people, they'd look at my portfolio, publishers, and they go, oh, this is great work. And I'm looking for a gig, right? I'm trying to get hired. They go, this is great work, but I wouldn't hire you. And I was like, what? Why? Because of what I posted on Facebook 2 weeks ago about borders or abortions? That even matters to you? And it did. It matters a really big amount it matters. It matters more than anything. Their politics come before their careers. You have to be on their side to work for them, is what I kind of got. And I'm sure actually it's worse in Hollywood. I'm sure it's worse in Hollywood. Probably the only reason we have people like Tim Allen still working in the industry is because he was grandfathered in, because he was there before 2016. But now it's amplified to the extreme. And so breaking into the comic industry now as a conservative, oh man, I don't even really have a chance unless you're real good at, sucking up to some people and making a joke once in a while like you're really not conservative. But I don't see how anybody would ever want to work with you. I don't know one. I know one person, one artist who's conservative, and he does his own thing, and he's afraid to say that he is, out of the whole industry. And it's funny to me because there were publishers that were posting like the adult toys they got at the adult shop, like fun on the weekends between a consensual man and woman. They were posting the toys they bought on Twitter, saying, this is what I'm going to use on my wife this Saturday. A sex toy, if you're not following me. That was okay for them to post, but it was not okay for me to post something like I didn't support abortions. How fucking crazy is that? It's crazy. Adults acting like children, basically. It's pretty bad when our youth is showing more maturity than full-grown adults. And I'm hoping that the next generation will actually be able to get past this a little bit better. Don't say conservative, just say I have common sense. Well, this is the kind of stuff that I get blacklisted for saying. If I cared, which I don't anymore, I appreciate that sentiment. Seems like in many spaces that's been the issue. High-strung activists drag everyone into their headspace and force issues that don't even need to be out there. That's exactly true. That's why people had nothing to do with a Comic-Con I was trying to throw, and I was getting trolled by Black Lives Matter and transgender groups. Had nothing to do with it. And because it was scaring away everybody else. And it's if you haven't seen the documentary Hacked on Netflix, it's really good. And it helped me understand a lot of what was going on because it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. There were people that were even foreigners paid to kind of interfere on social media to sway like the people on the sidelines who aren't quite conservative or aren't quite liberal, and just post a bunch of memes. And it just talks about basically the corruption of social media and how it is coined, or it should be a term by this professional lady that was involved and then got strung along through drama. She says it should be classified as a psychological weapon. So it made more sense looking back at 2016 saying, oh, these people were trolling me because I had Trump bobbleheads in my shop, even though I had Hillary ones too. It doesn't matter because there were activists, very radical activists, taking everybody through that psychological, warfare of the election, trying to really agitate them. And I had no idea. So it kind of fell on me, and I thought these people are crazy, but actually they were probably people on social media trying to interfere with the election in some way or another on either side. It's a really good documentary. Watch Hacked. It made my life make more sense in 2016 than it initially did. So, do you guys have any more questions for me? I think I've been here for about 43 minutes. And I smell some really good dinner cooking. Hi, is dinner ready? Okay, I'll be out there in a second. Bye. It smells really good. I think it's gyros and mussels.
I'm a good wife. I cook dinner.
My husband does most of the cooking because I don't cook very well. Okay, I cook really well when I have a recipe, but I just don't have a lot of experience because he does it all the time. He's really good. He's a good housewife. So, yeah. Okay, I'll leave you with one little funny skit. So, because he's funny. He got slandered too, but he's a good husband. And we were talking today, and I was like, well, if I do these cheesecake books, I remember I got a little bit trolled a little bit that I was a woman. Didn't make any sense. Working on cheesecake books with Zenescope back in the day. And I also got trolled for slut shaming Smiley Cyrus. It's just all this history in the back of my head. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do, I kind of want to do Cheesecake Book, just because I can draw women. I like drawing women. I think I draw them fairly well. I've been successful at doing it. The backbone of my career has been built on drawing pretty women. So I think I could make a really good quality cheesecake book of these pretty women covers. Oh man, I can see them in my head. And just you wait till you hear the concept of the two women that make this book what it is. Like I could kill it. I could kill it with that book. I know I can. And he and I were talking in the car, and he's like, yeah, and he said, you can have me write it. I'll be the scriptwriter, and I'll go to the shows with like a Hulk Hogan feather boa and a French beret, and I'll be the artist for you. They'll come up to my table and I'll just be ridiculous. You won't even have to deal with them, Mindy. I'll have water at my table and I'll drink it. This isn't Fiji. This is Aquafina. Bring the car around. And he was just making a scene. This isn't coming out near as funny as it was, but it was hilarious. I was cracking up. The point is, he's like, babe, just make the books. Like, you're really good at it. If I could draw half as good as you, I would have made a bunch of pretty women covers already. Because you can. You don't be upset that you got kicked out of that Facebook group. Because I was kind of like, why did they kick me out? Like, just go and just do your own. I thought that's a great idea. Why don't I do my own? It's like, yeah. I'm all, yeah. I'm like, you're a great husband. Thanks. He's like, yeah, no problem. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go on YouTube tonight and I'm going to talk about these books that I'm going to do. And I know you guys are patient with me because now it's not just been like a couple months of waiting on Karma, but it's been a year and a half since I came to Comicsgate and said, I'm making Karma, which is my awesome book series. But just be patient with me a little longer because I think you're really going to like what I have to do. And once I get started, I can get it rolling. And see, the plan is, as any business should plan for their growth, once you make a profit and you're able to grow, you hire other people to help take the work. So while Karma is written by me and only me, that's my baby. That's my very, very special magnum opus type project. I can outsource the other writing to writers like you guys, artists like you guys, the interiors, and I can just pitch in making the covers and we can help be a creative team. And that's why I made Mindy Wheeler Studios, which is a publishing company. So now I can put out books under Mindy Wheeler Studios. And I can be those people that went to all over the country and had their pretty banners and were I keep hitting that. The publishers at the shows, their tables and their swag with the convention exclusives. It's time for me to stop just trying to be a part of the industry and just make my own. So that's what I'm here to say. And if you're a conservative artist, I suggest you do the same because it's like a war out there. People don't like us. And I try to be nice. I'm not a racist Nazi, I promise you. But, there's some just radical people out there ruining it for everyone, saying that we are. Okay, dinner. Oh, it looks so good. I'm hungry. Okay, I'm coming. Stop it. I know I'm coming. I don't want to eat it in front of the camera. You can take it back there. All right. I need to wrap this up. Let's go over the comments real quick, and then I'll wrap it up for you guys. Do you have a Twitter page I could follow? Yes, I do. It's just Twitter/Mindy Wheeler Art. It's pretty much Mindy Wheeler Art all across all platforms. Facebook /Mindy Wheeler Art, Instagram /Mindy Wheeler Art, YouTube /Mindy Wheeler Art, Twitter /Mindy Wheeler Art. So yeah, follow me. And hey, I got a Vampirella exclusive, by the way, coming out with Dynamite, because Dynamite's been really cool. I contacted them. I got a really sick looking piece. If you haven't seen it yet, let me see if I have a picture, because you should definitely look at it. And it's going to be launching soon. It's in like the review phase where we're almost ready to hit go. Here's a little picture. Just a little. Oh, the lights ruin it. Oh, the lights ruin it. No, you can't even see. Go to Twitter and find it yourself. Or Facebook. Go look at it because it's pretty. And just you wait. All right. That X23 is awesome. Thank you. You have a print of mine from a while ago. The Gene Wilder. Cool. Thank you. I'm a great artist. Thank you. You're awesome. That's so cool. The Gene Wilder was a cool piece. That was a Bambox exclusive. And that's really cool that I was even able to do that. Like I got such a cool reaction from everybody at the time, and it was sad because it was Gene Wilder, but it was a really cool concept at the Bambox, and they were cool to work with. That was a really good experience. I didn't really have the terrible experience there that I had in a lot of places. Okay, cool. Okay, you will go. Alrighty, guys. What's the YouTube comments? Nope. Facebook comments. Let's go find them, and then I gotta get going. Take care, Mindy. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, guys. Thanks, all of you. Please stay connected with me. I didn't respond to comments very frequently recently, but I'm here now. I'm here to do this. I'm in this, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind anymore. I used to be afraid to post anything. I was constantly just walking around on eggshells, but I'm not anymore. I don't care. I don't care what people have to say, and I will leave it at that. So, guys, you rock. I will talk to you soon. Alrighty? Bye, everybody. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Tasty, tasty dinner. End live video. I'm going to end it. End live streaming. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner, too. It's late, but enjoy. Bye-bye.